happened when your shoulder to cry on became too close for comfort? The police knocked on my door at 2 a.m. and told me a drunk driver killed my husband. I collapsed on my front porch and stayed there for hours until my husband's college best friend saw the news and found me there at dawn. He instantly carried me inside and said he would take care of everything because I was completely broken. He handled everything those first few days. The funeral home calls, the death certificates, even telling my family who lived across the country what happened. I remember him holding me while I screamed into his chest and cleaning me up when I got sick from crying so hard. He would even bring groceries and turn away the early visitors when I wasn't ready. After the funeral, he moved from my couch to the guest room because he said it made more sense since he was there every night anyway. He started cooking all our meals using my husband's recipes and even did the grocery shopping with my husband's old list still stuck to the fridge. He even took care of talking to my husband's family for me because he said it would open fresh wounds. I was so shocked at how helpful he was being. I knew he loved my husband. And grief makes people do weird things, so I didn't think much of it. But then he started taking it up a notch. He quit his job. And when I told him that was crazy, but he said taking care of me was more important than any paycheck. Then he started redirecting my mail and added himself to my bank accounts. When I protested, he reminded me I'd forgotten to pay the electric bill twice. He was right. One morning, my husband's sister called to invite me to his memorial service. He declined without asking me, but I told him I really wanted to go. But again, he said seeing his whole family at once would overwhelm me. A few weeks later, I noticed him wearing my husband's old college hoodie while doing yard work. I asked him about it and he said the laundry was backing up. Soon after, he was wearing my husband's jeans too. Then within days, he'd moved on to using his cologne and hair gel, claiming the store was out of his usual brands. And when the mailman came, he introduced himself as my partner. I corrected him, but he said explaining our situation would take too long. Then one night, he redecorated the living room while I was sleeping. I woke up confused and upset, but he said my therapist would want me to embrace change. The house started feeling less like mine and more like his. Then he started to control when I could see other friends by scheduling all my activities during times when he knew they'd be at work. When I noticed, he said routine was important for healing. I started feeling trapped, but didn't know how to tell him to leave. He'd given up everything to help me. How could I be so ungrateful? But something felt really wrong. Then one night, I took sleeping pills for the first time in weeks because I was so exhausted. I woke up around 3 a.m. because I felt weight on my husband's side of the bed. I smelled his cologne, and for a second, my heart jumped, thinking somehow it had all been a nightmare. I reached out in the darkness and whispered, "Baby," because my sleep-foggy brain wanted so badly for it to be real. A hand stroked my hair, and a voice whispered back, "I'm here, sweetheart." But something was off about the voice. The tone was practiced, like someone doing an impression. My hand touched his face, and the jawline was wrong. Everything was wrong. I scrambled for the lamp, and when the light came on, I couldn't process what I was seeing. My husband's best friend was in bed with me wearing my husband's pajamas, the ones he wore the night before the crash. He'd styled his hair exactly like my husband's and was even wearing his wedding ring. "Don't turn on the light," he said, reaching for me. "Just let me hold you," he whispered. I screamed and tried to get away, but he grabbed my wrists. "I practiced everything," he said. "I can be him for you. You need this. You need him, and I love you enough to become him." The words made me sick. All I could say to him was, "You disgusting freak." And instead of stopping, he tried to lean in and kiss me, but I broke free and ran to the bathroom, locking the door behind me. I called 911 from the bathroom floor while he pounded on the door. "Please," he kept saying. I just kept screaming back that I would never love him and that he was a freaking weirdo. The police found him still wearing my husband's clothes. He showed them notebooks where he'd been documenting my husband's habits and mannerisms. He told the officers that becoming my husband was the ultimate act of love and friendship. He genuinely believed he was helping me. They arrested him for breaking and entering. His parents drove in from out of state and admitted he'd had obsessive episodes before, but never like this. I found his journal with entries saying he was so happy I was finally going to be his, and detailed plans about replacing my husband that started before the accident. I was finally able to connect with my husband's family and grieve together. Half our friend group thought I overreacted while the others were horrified. He is still sending me love letters to my house. I never opened them.